Hello, welcome to the Maya Toolbelt. This is Michael. This is our Maya 2016 addendum to our Crease Tool video that I made a while back. Now originally this was in the Edit Mesh menu, but it has been moved. It's now in the Mesh Tools menu. Instead of being called the Crease Tool, it's just simply called Crease. And Crease actually works the same as it did before. So if you want to see how the Crease Tool actually works, please feel free to click right here and go check out that video. It all still works the same way. So what has actually changed? What has changed is using crease sets. So if you watched the original video, and feel free to pause this, go watch that and come back, crease sets have actually changed very dramatically, where you can have a set of creases and group them in a way that's easy to select. So first let's create an example object. Let's just go to create polygon primitives. I'll do a sphere again, like I did in the original. And I'm just going to select an edge loop, kind of scale it out just so it's easier to see, like so. And I'm going to crease it. I'm going to go to Mesh Tools, Crease. I'm just going to middle click and drag this up a bit, and I'm going to increase this up to a creased value of around 1 or so. I'm at 1.07. That's okay. So now that I have this creased edge loop selected, before I went to Edit Mesh, there was like a Crease Set option, but there's not here anymore. And under Mesh Tools, there's no Crease Set option either. Those options, the Crease Set commands, have also moved. They're now under Window, Relationship Editors, if I can get to work, Crease Sets, here. So if I click the Crease Set button, I get a Crease Set Editor. This is also new, at least, like I said, to me. It may not be new to 2016, but it's new from 2011 that I used before. And so what I can do here is I can create a new crease set easily by hitting the New button with my edge loop selected, or I can also right-click and say Create Set this way. Create Set. And it creates the Crease Set 1, and it shows the creased value, members, and the number of them selected. So you see it's called Crease Set 1. I can double-click this and change the name if I wanted to Polygon Ring or whatever. The crease value it shows here is 2.0. If I double-click this, I can change it to, say, 3. Or I can simply put my mouse over this value, middle-click and drag, and it will change the crease value as well, like so. So with this polygon ring set that I've made, I can say remove to remove members, and it removes all the members I have selected. Let me undo that. So if I were to select certain edges within this edge loop, let's say I just grab a couple of them. So grab these 4 and say remove. I've now removed those 4 edges from the crease set. Let me undo that. And also with these 4 selected, you can see here it says that I have 4 of them selected here. There's 20 edges within the membership of this polygon ring crease set, and the selected column shows that I have 4 of them selected. So this kind of just gives you some information about the crease set and as you're doing it. So let's go ahead and create another crease set. I'm going to double click these edges, and if I say new right now, it creates a new crease set without having to actually go to Mesh Tools, Crease, and then applying the crease. It just applies it automatically with this Crease Set 1 with a default value of 2 for the crease. So now I can go in here and change that value if I want, and also double click here and change the name to say something else, Ring 2. So if we go to Settings, you can also change the default crease set name. By default, it's Crease Set Number. If you want it to be something else, such as Ring Number, in my case, I don't know, whatever you want, I can say Ring Number. Hit OK. And when I select a new edge loop and say New, it'll call it Ring 3 instead of having to rename it. And let's say I didn't like Ring 2 anymore, I can delete it by simply selecting it here and saying delete. Now that crease set has been deleted. So you can also add members or add edges to your crease set. If I were to select a couple other edges here and pick which crease set I want to add them to, select one and say add. And now those three edges that I had selected have been added to the membership of that crease set. I can also remove them as I did before. So the Crease Set Editor has added a lot more functionality to using crease sets than there were before, as you can tell just so far. There's also these menus up here which have different commands that you can access from the Crease Set Editor as well. So for example, we have the Edit menu. We have several things here we're going to go through. Select crease sets from selection. You have to have an object selected first that has a crease set applied to it, which we do here of course, since we only have the one. But we say edit, select crease sets from selection, and it selects the two crease sets that we have. If you had multiple objects in the scene with different crease sets applied to each one, you'd have them all listed here, but only the ones that were associated with the selected object would be highlighted after using select crease sets from selection option from the edit menu. The next one is bake crease values to mesh. If we choose this, the crease sets go away and the crease set values gets baked into the mesh. So it's kind of like applying those crease sets permanently to the mesh to be baked in. Let me undo that. So keep in mind that you can have edges that are creased that are not a part of a crease set. Don't get too confused with that. If I right click and go to select another edge loop, mesh tools, and crease it, for example, it will not add it to the Crease Set Editor. So if I have a creased set of edges here that are not within the Crease Set Editor, that have not been applied to a crease set, I can select this object and say edit, create crease sets from mesh, and you can see it creates several more crease sets because it's actually created duplicate crease sets from the ones I've already made. So if you had an object with several creased edges like this, and you wanted to create crease sets from them, simply select the object and go to edit, create crease sets from the mesh, and it selects all the crease sets that we had and creates new ones. So you'll see here now that polygon ring and ring 3 have no members applied anymore because those members of the edges that were applied to those crease sets have been applied to these new ones that have been made because of that command that we did. So I can select these two first ones and say delete, and delete those since there's no members in them. So next one is subdivide base mesh. So we click this, you can see the base mesh gets subdivided quite a bit. This also decreases the creased values of our crease sets by 1. You see they were 2, 1.2, and 2, and now they're 1.2 and 1. It also increases the number of faces that we have available, number of edges. So it actually smooths the object. You can see here under my inputs that it actually applied a poly smooth face with a division of 1 to the object. I can increase this division level if I'd like as well. And you can see when you start doing that, you're increasing the edges and such. Those edges that were creased kind of get shifted around the mesh depending on where those edges have moved to based on adding more geometry to the base object. So keep that in mind. Undo the division value increase, and now you see my edges are back up to here where they were originally. So next option is set edge hardness from crease values. Let me undo actually the subdivision. So using this option, the set edge hardness from crease values option under the edit menu, it'll apply a soften or hardness to the edge normals based on the value of the crease. And you can see that stuff under a mesh display, harden edge or soften edge. And we actually have a video going over the harden edge and soften edge commands. Feel free to click over here to take a look at that video. But this will apply those commands and use the crease value to adjust the hardness value of the edges. If we select that, you can see how the edge hardness changes slightly. I'm going to undo and redo. So those are the options within the Edit menu. Now we go to Display. The next under the Display menu, we have Optimal Mesh Subdivision Level. If we select this, we're not going to see anything really change in our scene. If we hit Control A, or if we select the object, hit Control A, in the Sphere Shape 1 node here, I have a Smooth Mesh folder. If I open this up, you can scroll down, you'll have Subdivision Levels, and it will show Preview Division Levels has been set to 3. And what this does is it increases this division level one beyond the maximum crease level. Ensure that it's showing the most accurate crease that you can. If I go back to Default Mesh, you'll see it goes back to 2, Default Mesh Subdivision Level. So display Optimal Mesh Subdivision Level and Default Mesh Subdivision Level. Optimal increases this up one value, and then Default goes back. So next we have under Display, we have Create/Update Crease Color Set. And then we also have Show/Hide Crease Color Set. So the color will change if you say Create first. You see now my object's kind of bluish. But it might be hard to tell, but around the creased edges, that color is kind of changing. Let me see if I can, okay. So if I deselect the mesh, you can kind of see that color there. Let me increase the crease value. Select the object, say Display Update, and now that color here on this edge has changed to red, indicating the increased crease value of that crease set. So whenever it's a high value, it changes to red. When it's a low value or no crease at all, it's blue. So it's kind of a gradient change between those two colors. And then it can go to Display Show/Hide. I can turn off the color display or turn it back on. But it won't change until if you've changed your creased value, it will not actually update the color until you say Create/Update the crease color set here. So if I were to select this crease set, middle mouse click, drag this creased value down to say 2 or 2-ish, and now I go to Display, select the model, Display, Update. Now you see that red value has gone down in its intensity. Display, Show to hide it again. So those are the display options we have here. Next we have Settings. We can say Crease Level Drag Increment, and then also the default crease set name, which we've already gone over. So what is the Crease Level Drag Increment? Well, whenever I select the crease set and middle mouse click and drag on the crease value here, you see it's going up right now, going up and down at a value of 0.1. So that is the default, or at least the current crease, crease level drag increment right now is 0.1. And if I click it, you can see here I have the value of 0.1 set as my crease level drag increment. I can increase this to say 0.5. And now when I middle click and drag, it goes up by 0.5. So 1 to 1.5 to 2, 2.5 to 3. And I'm just simply middle clicking and dragging with my mouse over this creased value here. And that's just by adjusting the crease level drag increment. And then there's default crease set name, which we've already changed to ring number. You can change this to whatever, crease set number, and it will increase that number value based on each crease set that is created. So yeah, Crease Set Editor adds a whole lot of stuff in here. I might just name this video Crease Set Editor as opposed to the Crease Tool addendum, because the Crease Tool itself is still the same, right? So yeah, we'll call this the Crease Set Editor video from now on. So you probably already knew that since you saw the thumbnail at the beginning. But yeah, this has been the Maya Toolbelt talking about the Crease Set Editor. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to like and comment and subscribe. I definitely appreciate all of your feedback. If you feel like it, check out my Patreon page. You can see if there's anything there you're interested in. And thanks again for watching.